Hey everyone. So, I first want to thank everybody that reached out to me for my first video. I'm finally able to make a second video due to the fact that I work late and I'm able to record. As simple as that, right? So, um, yeah, I want to thank everybody for the encouraging words, the um, positive words as well. So, yeah, let's get into the second video. So, I decided for my videos moving forward, it would be pillow talk with Christina because I just feel comfortable, like, rather than sitting up. I feel better just laying down and just venting and talking. Um, so, yeah, this is how I will be conducting my videos. So, um, for this video, I'm actually gonna be speaking about the triggers of my anxiety. Um, and, well, first, let me backtrack and recap about my first video. So, I suffered from anxiety, depression, and an episode of psychosis. Now, I am currently on medication, so that's what is helping me get through my life at this point. Um, so, yes, at first I was not a believer of medication, and I still, mm, even though I feel like it saved my life, I still feel um, dependent on something, and I don't like that feeling. But it helped me, so I'm here today because of my hospital visit. As I said in my first video, I voluntarily checked myself into a hospital, a mental facility. And during that week and a half that I was in there, it, I was put on medication. So I was put on two medications. One was Seroquel, and the other one, Seroquel is an antipsychotic medication. And then I was also put on an antidepressant, which is sertraline. So, yeah. And I'm currently on, because I had to switch out the Seroquel, I'm currently on Abilify as an antipsychotic for 2 milligrams, and for the sertraline, I am on, currently 150, because I'm actually trying to like wean off of the medication. Like I said, I don't like being dependent on anything, so I with the supervision of my psychiatrist, I'm able to wean off of the medication. So we'll see how that goes. But initially, for my anxiety, I was put on clonoxepam, which is a benzo, and that was like kind of strong. But yeah, so I abruptly like got off of that, and I shouldn't have. I should have definitely consulted with my psychiatrist, but I didn't. So yes, that's the medications that I took and that I'm currently taking. Now, I want to speak about my panic attacks, anxiety attacks, and also my triggers. So let's go first with the triggers. So when COVID first started, I was really scared and anxious because I'm like, what is this? Like, are we all gonna die? Like, my mind just went south, and I was, um, yeah, I was really scared. Um, and I was pretty much convinced that I had it. That's where the episode of psychosis came in. And yeah, it was really scary. I was convinced I had it. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't. I felt very sick every day. So I was like, oh, this is definitely COVID. And no, it wasn't. It was pretty much anxiety. So yeah, so that definitely was the main trigger. Um, it was COVID, the main trigger for sure, to my anxiety. And then let me think. The other one was I had a 20-page paper due for my master's program. And let me tell you that every morning I woke up feeling so sick because I was like, okay, I have a 20-page paper due within the next day. And then it was just so bad. I had to like get in contact with my professor so that way she could give me like a later deadline. It was really bad. So that was my second trigger. My third one was I was not staying at my house. I was actually at my ex's house, and I just wanted to be home. And yeah, and then my fourth trigger was the fact that I felt disconnected from everybody and everything. And this is where the depression came in because I felt really empty and really lonely, really hopeless, and it was just really sad because I couldn't feel the connection with my niece and my nephew, which, if you know me, you know that my babies are my everything. But yeah, I just didn't feel motivated. I didn't feel anything. I was just there. So that gave me anxiety because I'm like, what is going on? Like, I always knew that I suffered from depression, but that was just another feeling um, um, of just disconnection towards everything. So those were pretty much my four main triggers. Yeah. Now, so I said my medication, I said my triggers. Now I want to explain the two type of anxiety attacks that I had. One was that I was in a very, like, I could feel my anxiety attacks coming on, and I had two. Either that I couldn't breathe, like I was like hyperventilating. So I was like, I couldn't breathe. I was like scared. I was like just trying to keep calm, and I couldn't at all. And I would just freak out. I would cry. It was just really scary, and it felt like the world was ending each time that I had an anxiety attack. And then there was another anxiety attack that I had where I was just still, like I couldn't move. I was just experiencing, it kind of felt like I was in a vegetable state, like very mild one, obviously. But I couldn't move, I couldn't speak, I was stuck. And they were both very scary and it was like one extreme to the other. The one is like I couldn't stay still. Like I had to be moving. I was freaking out. Like it felt like the world was caving in. And then the other one, it was like I was just stuck. I couldn't move. I couldn't. It felt like I couldn't breathe. But yeah, they were very scary, both of them. But yeah, that was a very scary time. If I'm using the word scary a lot, you know that I was fucking scared. But yeah, and then lastly, in this video, I would like to speak about admitting myself into the hospital. So it got really bad, like to the point where I was just trying to make sense of everything. Like my mind was just everywhere. I had very intrusive thoughts, distorted thoughts. Like my mind was just going 100 miles per hour, 200 miles per hour. Like everything, things weren't making sense. I would have just like very weird thoughts that I don't feel like opening up yet and saying those. But yeah, so it got to the point where I was not really making sense of everything like that I was saying. I was just talking and yeah, I couldn't really do anything at all. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't remember things. Like I would put my phone somewhere and forget where the freak I put it. But like within a split second, I would put it somewhere and then I don't remember where I put it. So my memory was trash. My memory was trash. My thoughts were just all over the place. I was very unorganized when I spoke. I was just talking out of my ass. Like everything was just not how it normally is. So yeah. So yeah, eventually it got to the point where I was like, I have to do something about it because I don't like this feeling. So I called my cousin and she was like, okay, you definitely have to check yourself into a hospital. So that's what I did. And I stayed a week and a half at the hospital and they put me on the medications. Yeah, the hospital experience was something else. That's going to be for my next video along with some other things. But yeah, it was very interesting. And believe it or not, the one thing that I remember from that hospital visit was that on TV, I found out that Nicki Minaj was pregnant. Yeah. So, yeah, that was weird. But anyway, so yeah, my video is going on 14 minutes. So I want to end it here. Thank you all for listening, and I will see you guys, well, you guys will see me next video. Peace out.